Hey folks, what's up? Welcome back to another Poemaster video, and today we're going to talk about Elio and Popplio slash, I guess, Primarina. So as usual, we will be summoning on Elio and Popplio when it drops, so stay tuned, right? Check that out, right? Again, as soon as it drops, we should be live. And hopefully Celine did not use up all our luck, and we still have some for Popplio. Anyways, so let's go into this. So I personally love Primarina. I don't know why people hate Popplio and Primarina. Like, why do people hate Popplio and Primarina? Anyways, random tangent, but yeah. The sync pair, it's a support, right? Water type support, and it's weird. It's a really weird unit in a lot of different ways, right? So let's first check it out. So in terms of stats, it has some solid stats, right? I mean, speed's not very good, but outside of speed, it has good defenses, solid HP. Special attack's actually not terrible either, right? So I can actually like do some decent damage to Sparkling Area if you actually run it in like a rain team or whatever, right? But again, you're not here to do damage. You're a support. You're here to support your team with stuff like X Special Defense All, which raises your whole team's special defense by 2, obviously. And then you have We Got Tricks, which raises the speed of your whole team, and then uses a maximum of 3 gauge slots of your mover of the user's move gauge based on the amount used. Raises all allies sync pairs attack, special attack by up to 4 stat ranks. So +4 attack, special attack to your whole team, +1 speed at the cost of 3 gauges at max, right? So that's nice. So it's a support that could buff your special defense for your team, and also +1 speed, and then +4 attack and special attack. And then top that, you got First Aid 4, which is really nice, obviously. You got Propelling Moves 5, which has a 6% chance of charging your move gauge by 1 when you use a move. I don't know what's the difference between that and just move gauge refresh, but oh well. Anyways, moving on, you also have Team Inflict and Heal 3, where there's 40% chance of restoring your HP of all allied sync pairs when a status move used by the Pokemon is successful, and that status move is Sing over here, which it's a 1 gauge move that could put the opponents, to sleep, right? So here's the thing with Sing, though. Sing doesn't have any accuracy buffs on the sync grid, and you don't buff your own accuracy. So like the awkward part about Sing is, again, this isn't confirmed yet, but according to the previous assumptions, Sing, if you do give Elio Troublemaker, is going to be the only sleep move in the whole game that can't be at 100% accuracy when you use it, in comparison to like all the other sleep users in the game, which could be an issue, right? Which could make him a pretty unreliable sleep unit. But again, I could test it later, right? Once I do get Elio, and we could see the results if the previous assumptions were correct, right? But at the moment, the assumptions are that Sing cannot land 100% of the time, unlike Hypnosis for sleep with Troublemaker. So the assumption would be you'd have to have Troublemaker and accuracy buffers to make that happen, which is obviously not very good. So moving on to the sync grid, you got some really good stuff on the grid, actually, right? If you are trying to go for Elio, you probably would want to go for more than 1 copy, because you get stuff like where is it? You got, I mean, Sentry Entry is okay, I guess. +1 defense for your whole team when you're out of the battle. It's not the best, but you do have the MP refresh on your trainer move, so you can max out your whole team's attack and special attack. It's only MP refresh 1, but you have that option, right? You have Sparkling Area Team Fast Track 4, which is going to be very helpful, because if you're not spamming Sing, then the only other move is Sparkling Area, which is a 3 gauge move, which you would have to use Sparkling Area to trigger this, right? Yeah, so it gives you a 50% chance of debuffing the opponent's speed, right? Again, it is AoE, so you got that as well. So that's nice. You got some other stuff. Fast Track, which is also good. Buff your whole team speed, which, again, since you are a 3 gauge move user, relatively slow, it would be nice to buff your whole team speed. so that would definitely help. You got some other stuff. Move gauge refresh 1 on Sing. Defense crush 4 on Sparkling Area. So like you could debuff your opponent's physical defense. You could debuff their special defense over here and debuff their speed with Sparkling Area, as well as raise your team speed. It's not 100% of the time. It's 50% of the time. But if you pick them all up, which can you pick them all up? Oh, you can't. Okay, you can't pick them all up. But well, maybe I don't want to pick that up. What about that? You're one short. Anyways, all right, so you can't pick them up, but even if you pick like 3 of them up, you got a decent amount chance of proccing 1 at least, I guess. But outside of that, you have Team Crit Nightmare 3, 40% chance of raising the crit of all out sync pairs when attack move is successful against the opponent that is asleep. So there's that. This is kind of hard to do because it's only a 40% chance, and you have to do it when the opponent's already asleep. So he can buff crit, but it's very hard to actually get a crit buff with him, and slow as well, because you're probably going to be starting out the battle buffing your team's stats, right, first, and then after that, well, you got your first sync done already, right, and then unless you're doing that first before you get your sync in, then you'll have to like assume that first of all you have to land the sleep on your first move, and second of all you'd have to get like double crit buff rolls to give like +2 crit. Like this is straight not very, very good. Like it's really deceptive. You look at it at first and it's, oh wow, crit buffs, that's great, right? But like when you like think about it, it's just not it's not very great. Team Sync Cure removes all status conditions after syncing, which is useful for some stages, right? Specific stages. Move gauge refresh, unfortunately only 2 for Sparkling Area, which is not fun. Impatient 1, like you have like a lot of stuff on your sync grid, right? So like if you are going for Elio, you definitely would want more copies. But again, it is probably banner. You could wait for the copies to come to you later on. But yeah, overall, you do need a lot of copies to make him useful, because like if you only have him at 1 out of 5, you get like nothing. Okay, you get X special defense, all MP refresh too, but like at 1 out of 5 you just really don't get anything, and you're just buffing your team's special defense and like attack and like +1 speed, which isn't bad, but like it's also not great, right? Like here the thing with Elio is, right, he's trying to do like so many things and he's just not really great at like any of them, right? First of all, you're again, unless Troublemaker makes accuracy or makes Sing like 100%, chance to sleep, like you're basically the worst sleeper in the game, right? Even though it's a 1 gauge move, but you're still really slow, right? And again, if you can't land it, what are you doing? When all the other hypnosis users can guarantee to land their hypnosis with Troublemaker 1, right? So you're not a great sleeper, right? You have X special defense all, and then buffs on attack and special attack. So you're basically Lunatone. You're basically a 5-star Lunatone, right? So that's what Lunatone does. Lunatone gives you the defensive buffs, right? I think it's special defense, right? Lunatone gives you the special defense buffs, X special defense all, and then Lunatone gives you +4 attack and +4 special attack. And Elio just gives you, extra +1 speed, which isn't too great. And then Lunatone has like 1 gauge spammable, which I guess you could spam Sing as well, which Sing is, even if you don't have Troublemaker for 5%, it's better than Confusion. But like, overall, like the difference between like it's just like a premium like Lunatone. Like again, at 1 out of 5 you're just Lunatone but better, because like you have the chance to sleep, and then you got first aid, which is cool, and then you could heal if your Sing lands, and then you got move gauge refresh, right? Sorta over here. It's just like a premium Lunatone, which isn't very great. Also costs you gauges. Well, Lunatone doesn't cost you gauges, but this is only 1 move in comparison to 2 moves. But yeah. And then once you have the Synchron unlocked, right? A lot of these, like, here's the thing, right? Because you're either using Elio to be a sleep unit, to be a sleep spammer, which again, sleep is incredibly powerful in this game. You're either using him as a sleep spammer or you're using him as like a tech debuffer slash speed buffer, right? So you can't have it both ways. You can't sleep the opponent and then like do all the other stuff to buff. Like you don't have the time, right? You gotta, if you're sleeping the opponent, you have to sleep them all. You have to spam sync. Like you have to sleep the mid, then sleep the right, then sleep the left, right? You have to make sure your whole team is constantly asleep. I mean, if you're just sleeping one unit, the benefit to sleeping them at all isn't as large, right? So if you have to sleep the whole, it's not an AoE sleep, you have to sleep them one at a time. If that's the case, you just don't have time to use Sparkling Area, which means you don't have time to debuff the opponent's either defenses, speed, or special defenses, and you don't have time to buff your own team's speed, right? So you just have a lot of like conflicting stuff going on, right? If you want to be using Elio just as a debuffer, one, it's not reliable. Two, it's very expensive because again, it is a 3-gauge move with low speed, which again, it helps once you get fast track up there. But again, like there are units that could just straight up debuff the opponent's defenses, right? Debuff the opponent's speed. Rarely would you need both of them at the same time. Some instances you would, right? But if you really just want to debuff in the opponent's, I guess either again, physical defense or special defense, because like you really don't even need to debuff them both at the same time, because usually your unit is either physical or special. Although if you are running Elio, you most likely will be supporting units that have both physical and special, so I guess you could do that. But like it's just better to like a lot of times just run like a special or physical debuffer, like either all creamy, which is 2-gauge move, also gives you both physical and special and special buffs, which also gives you gradual heals, also debuffs opponents, attack, all that stuff. It's just some solid damage here and there. Or you could just use like either Nanu or Kukui, right, to debuff the opponent's defenses if you need that. And then if you need a speed support, just bring out speed support instead of have a 50% chance of raising your speed by 1 every time you use a 3-gauge move, right? So Elio's kit is just all over the place, and it's just hard to really find a cohesive sort of like fit for Elio, which is the awkward part. Again, he's not bad. He's just hard to use and hard to find a use, right? Maybe in the future he would be really, really good for a specific unit that requires to do all these things from Elio, right? But at the moment, he's just kind of tough to use, right? So, yeah, anyways, that's me this one, I guess. Again, if you really need something like an Elio, like it's a very, very specific unit, so generally you don't really need him. If you really, really want like a sleep unit, like again, Serena's just straight up better. I go for Serena instead, or if not, like Agatha's fine as a sleeper, honestly, right? Give Agatha a troublemaker, and then she's fine. And if you need again a unit to buff both your attack and special attack and special defenses, you get Lunatone. Obviously, again, Lunatone not as good as Elio, right? Not as good as Elio, but if that's what you need, then you could just go for that instead. So Elio is definitely not something that you have to summon on, right? Better to probably save your gems for something else. But if you like Elio a lot, or if you love Popplio or Primarina a lot, like me, I don't know, I still don't know why people hate Primarina. Anyways, but yeah, you could summon on him, right? But otherwise, it's not something I'd really recommend going for. Although I will be going for that because I have to do my YouTube videos. So, plus again, I do like Premiere. So, yeah, check out the stream later today. So again, that's me with this one. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me guys think in the comments down below. Like and enjoy this video. So our channel for some more Popplio Masters content. I'll see you guys in the next one.